This is the Elite Spectre review. I bought this for about $20 US at Walmart. Right into the unboxing. Included with this blaster is the blaster itself, the removable stock, the front barrel extension, a few Elite darts, and the instructions. As always, I will go over the external stuff, show you how it works, show you it firing, and give you my opinion. Starting from the front, this is a barrel extension that is detachable. This will attach to any in-strike compatible thing with this front little nozzle. As you can see, the diameter of this is the same as the first Spectre. That's actually surprising me because the first Spectre was designed to shoot sonic darts, which is why they made this so big. Because this one shoots Elite darts and it's still super wide, it does not negatively affect your accuracy or range. This is a recon barrel, and this is the Spectre barrel. Some people think this increases accuracy or power. It's actually untrue. When a dart leaves the barrel, it actually bounces off the recon barrel slightly, transferring some of the kinetic energy into the recon barrel. If you don't know what that means your range and accuracy are slightly decreased. The only exception to this is if your blaster is crazy inaccurate, and on the top view, if the dart was going to shoot off at an angle like this, it actually catches the barrel and then fires off into a straight line. So it can increase accuracy, but if your accuracy is that bad to begin with, your blaster's broken. So this barrel is great because an Elite dart doesn't even touch these walls, so it flies through and it actually doesn't reduce range or accuracy. The front barrel on the Spectre will accept other attachments as well as the actual Spectre barrel. Moving forward, we have an in-strike rail up here attaching sights, and then the cylinder or turret or whatever you want to call it holds 5 darts. You can bin darts in and load it without moving it, but this orange button here is actually there to pop the cylinder out of the blaster. This makes loading pretty easy, and to put the cylinder back in, you just force it in. Take note, holding 5 darts is obviously less than 6 compared to like the strong arm, but that lack of holding 1 extra dart allows this blaster to be much thinner than those blasters such as the strong arm or the Maverick. Up here is the priming handle. To prime the blaster, you pull back on it like that. The barrel rotation happens on the prime. Because of that, the trigger pull is very clean compared to, say, like the Maverick, where the trigger actually rotated the cylinder. That leads to a very gross feeling trigger. It's much better this way. The handle is on the smaller side, but I don't really have any complaints. It's still ergonomic, and the fillet on the side makes it very comfortable. Moving to the stock, the Spectre does have a stock attachment point here. This is compatible with in-strike stocks, just like most other in-strike blasters. The Spectre stock is actually pretty cool. It's like a skeleton style stock. It's in the fixed form, which means it's out, but if you pull out on that, it unlocks this little notch here, which allows you to swing the stock around and then lock it into the forward position. It only locks completely in or completely out. There are no tweener slots. So if you want to keep your stock on your blaster while you store it, or if you want to play like this and reduce the length, you know, that's pretty cool. It is a cool theory, but it's not a very well-made stock. The plastic is very cheap and very, very weak. This means if you try to prime the blaster up against your shoulder, it collapses on you. It's very uncomfortable and awkward to have the stock wobbling like that, unless you wanted a stock to like shoot around corners. Now the obvious counter argument is you don't have recoil because it's not a real gun. You don't need a stable stock. That is a valid argument. You don't have recoil, and I could very easily shoot accurately just like this, or even with my offhand, but it's still disappointing and still sort of awkward to shoulder because it flexes so much. So that's the externals. I'll show you the firing. Haven't range tested the blaster, but it's firing just as far as other Elite Springers. Keep in mind, Elite Springers fire a little bit further than the flywheel Elite guns. And the ranges don't drop when you use or don't use the barrel. However, if you put on, say, like a recon barrel, you would take off a few feet, and that's for the reasons I explained a minute ago. So overall opinion on the Spectre is pretty high. For the cost, I'm very happy with it. The basic function of the blaster is very smooth. It fires crisp. It doesn't jam very often, even when you push it to its limits and try to fire very quickly and just rough it up. I actually purchased this blaster just for the barrel and the stock. I don't have interest in the Spectre itself, and for $20, you know, that's actually a decent deal, because if Hasbro sold one of these separately, it would be like $18. Hasbro, what can you do? So if you're looking for a spring-fed cylinder gun like this, and you're looking in between this and a strong arm, pros and cons again. I'm a believer that there's no best Nerf gun, everything's pro and con, but this compared to a strong arm, you're obviously paying almost double, but you get this cool little front barrel attachment and a stock. Outweigh the pros and cons yourself. I'm definitely not going to tell you which one to buy, but I do like the Spectre, and for the money, I think it's a good buy. That concludes my review. Thanks for watching. So I opted to leave the air restrictors in order to fire the shells out if I only have 1 or 2 darts loaded, or if one's loaded very poorly. Honestly, taking out an air restrictor is a little overrated. It might give you